Around toward Connecticut Avenue, inner loop, no reported issues, and still no problems on the Beltway in Virginia. Southbound 270 slows a bit coming off of I-70 from Frederick and then passing Route 80. The volume continues past 109, and then it looks good to the lane divide. No problems yet along the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, both inside and outside the Beltway. But it is westbound 50 that is already heavy from 202 headed toward 295 and New York Avenue. Around that point, near the ramps to those, you're going to find possibly a crash. The delay seems to be easing back just a little bit, so they may have managed to move that one out of the roadway. While southbound DC 295 is slow before Benning past East Capitol Street. I-295 still in good shape, although both sides of 295 are getting a little heavy getting onto the Douglas Bridge, onto the 11th Street Bridge, actually, to make your way onto the freeway. No problems on the Suitland Parkway to the Douglas Bridge. You will find northbound 210 a little heavy toward Old Fort Road North. Northbound 5 and 301 still slow through Brandywine, and then 5 continues heavy toward Moores Road, while northbound 95 in Virginia delays Dale City past the Prince William Parkway. Then good into Springfield onto 395. Eastbound 66 is starting to slow, passing 234 Business in Manassas. And in Manassas, northbound 28 has delays before Manassas Drive, near Connor Drive, trying to make your way toward Maplewood Drive. Before Maplewood Drive, we may have a wreck. The American Military University gives you affordable education rates. Keep tuition at $250 per credit hour for undergrads and master's tuition. See amu.apus.edu/military. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Weather Desk. For your home's windows, siding, doors, and bath, trust PJ.com. Your 7 News First Alert meteorologist, Brian Vandegraff.
Damp and drizzly out there as you get your day started. We're looking for some off and on showers as we go through your Monday. Your Monday on a wet note for sure. Kick and start the work week. We'll look for these off and on showers and cool temperatures, upper 40s to low 50s at best. Into the evening will eventually clear out with temperatures in the 30s. Tomorrow near 50, breezy with sun. I'm 7 News senior meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
Heaviest rain right now spreading through Prince William County, going across the I-95 corridor, especially around Dale City and headed toward Charles County. Right now we have 48 in Tysons. It's 50 in Waldorf. We have 50 on the National Mall.
Money news at 10 and 40. President Trump doubled down on his commitment to tariffs late last night, and the markets are not happy about it. Right now, Dow futures are down 5.5%. S&P futures are down nearly 6%, as are NASDAQ futures. This comes after the S&P 500 lost a total of 10% in 2 days to close out last week, with U.S. stocks losing $6.6 trillion in value those days. Last week was also the worst week to start a quarter since 2008.
Home sales in the D.C. area have slowed, but prices are holding up. The WTOP business reporter Jeff Clabaugh says condo owners are the most likely to lower their selling price.
The share of condos nationwide with a price cut in February was the highest in 5 years. In the D.C. area, Redfin says 53% of condo sales in February sold for less than the original price. Not much, though, getting an average 97.6% of original asking price. And D.C. area condos are not a significantly cheap alternative. The average price of $400,000 is up 7% from a year ago.
Condo sales have taken the biggest hit in Florida, where they sell at an average of a 20% discount to list price. That's largely the result of soaring HOA fees, which are related to the runaway home insurance costs there.
542, some very recent history is coming to a Maryland museum. WTOP's Mike Murillo hears more about an upcoming exhibit on the collapse of Baltimore's Key Bridge.
It's been really interesting because we are finding ourselves creating an exhibit and storytelling around something that has happened in real time.
Chelsea Redding with the Baltimore Museum of Industry says that's something they're not used to doing, but the deadly collapse and the impact it's had on industries that depend on the Port of Baltimore and the rebuilding of the bridge is something they need to follow. In the years to come, they plan to feature art from the memorial for the victims and even a piece of the collapsed bridge.
We're not an art museum. So, being able to steward pieces of art is fresh for us. It's a little new. It's a little scary, honestly.
The museum is also recording history right now of longshoremen whose jobs were halted the day the container ship hit the bridge, and even recording family members of the victims. The museum's goal is to launch a big exhibit on the 3rd anniversary of the collapse. Mike Murillo, WTOP News.
The look of the boardwalk in Rehoboth Beach is changing. A multi-building complex fronting the boardwalk between Rehoboth Avenue and Baltimore Avenue 1 block north is being demolished. That includes a Grotto Pizza and the former Dolly's Candyland property on the boardwalk. as well as the Core Brothers Frozen Custard there. The Capital Gazette there reporting that, or the Coast Gazette reporting a 60-room hotel will be going up there instead. That's a partnership between Grotto Pizza and a Pennsylvania-based real estate developer.
Coming up, we hear more about Ovi's incredible record and career. It's 5:44.
The push for modernization begins with a 5-layer maturity model for digital transformation. Jameson Braun, the vice president of global public sector at Salesforce, discussed how this maturity model could allow the Defense Department to move faster.
Imagine if we had a way to communicate, collaborate, and document, so in that flow of work, that could go right to every single person at the decision maker level. And everybody had 3 critical variables: trust, transparency, and accountability.
Listen to the full interview on federalnewsnetwork.com. Introducing Agent Force, the AI-powered digital labor platform for government. With Agent Force, agencies can streamline operations, make faster data-driven decisions, and use proactive AI agents to multiply impact, all in a secure cloud environment. Empower your teams with the tools they need to build connections and serve America more efficiently. Agent Force, transforming federal service for a smarter, safer future. Learn more at salesforce.com/government. That's salesforce.com/government.
The WTOP app has all kinds of handy new features.
Like weather forecasts customized to your location.
You'll know if it will be rainy in Reston or chilly in Chevy Chase.
Download it wherever you get your apps.
Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Visit NavyFederal.org. Insured by NCUA.
It's 5:45. Good morning. I'm John Doman.
I'm John Aaron. It is now official. Alex Ovechkin scored his 895th career goal, breaking the scoring record previously held by Wayne Gretzky. Our Ben Raby takes a look at Ovi's remarkable career.
Super speeds. Ovechkin fires. He scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board.
It took all of 20 minutes into his NHL debut for Alex Ovechkin to score a goal. He seemingly never stopped.
Ovechkin fires. He scores! Alex Ovechkin, number 50. The golden moment in a sparkling rookie year.
That is goal number 100 of his NHL career.
Back to the point. Ovechkin scores! Goal number 300 for Alex Ovechkin.
It was the combination of the goals and the physical play and just the enthusiasm. How much fun he was having.
And how about the reaction of Ovechkin jumping into the glass? Ovechkin score! Throw the hats! The grade 8 is tied it. Congratulations, Alex Ovechkin, the Washington Capitals all-time goal-scoring leader at 473.
Et la première étoile de First Star, Alexander Ovechkin.
We know anything about Alex. The bigger the stage, the bigger he is.
Backdoor look, Ovechkin rips, he scores! Number 500 for the grade 8. The greatest DC sports moments that the Capitals have provided to date. Tonight, Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final as the Caps looking to win their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Across to Ovechkin, he scores! On the power play, Alex Ovechkin beats Marc-Andre Fleury.
The winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the playoffs, Alex Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin taking the first lap with a Stanley Cup over his head. It's real, Washington.
We're the Stanley Cup champions! Yeah!
Forever a Stanley Cup champion, Ovechkin's ultimate goal was finally reached. The goals on ice, those kept coming too.
That's up for Ovechkin. Drive! He scores! His spectacular history-making continues. 700 red lights. He got away a shot, blocked the rebound, they score, and it's Ovechkin with a hat trick and his 800th NHL goal. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. Goal 802. It's the great 8 and the great 1.
Listen, he deserves all the credit and the accolades he's getting. I couldn't be more happy to be around a guy that has a chance to break my record.
This is what they came to see, an opportunity for Alex Ovechkin to score 895. Send in Wilson on the flank, cross ice, Ovechkin fires! Score! The chasing days are done. Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
Traffic and weather on the 8th. Rita Kessler, I bet the roads aren't as good as that was.
Well, definitely not, and they're definitely very wet, so we could see some issues all morning long. Right now, things are the same on the Beltway in terms of the delay. The outer loop slows from 95 headed around toward University Boulevard. Everything from the earlier wreck is all the way over on the right shoulder. It had kind of infringed on that right lane, but looks like everything's over on the right shoulder. A tow truck may be on the scene with that. Southbound 95 slows trying to get onto the outer loop of the Beltway. Inner loop getting a little heavy approaching I-295 and then good crossing the Wilson Bridge. Northbound I-295 is now slow from the 11th headed to the 11th Street Bridge from the Suitland Parkway. Inbound Suitland Parkway slows approaching the light at Stanton Road and approaching 295. And southbound DC 295 has a delay before bending past East Capitol Street. Inbound on Route 50, westbound 50, slow after 202 headed toward New York Avenue where there was a report of a wreck. You'll also find on 270 southbound is just volume coming from 70 all the way past 109 with the lanes open. Then it looks good to the lane divide onto the Beltway. Northbound 210 delays are back near Swan Creek, headed all the way toward Old Fort Road North and trying to make your way toward Wilson Bridge Drive. However, within this delay, northbound 210 at Fort Washington Road, callers report a crash in the left lane. Also in Virginia, northbound 95, the volume through Stafford, then the delay Dale City into Woodbridge. 395 slows getting onto the 14th Street Bridge where we may have a crash, and then eastbound 66 a little heavy through Manassas. Northbound 28 before Maplewood Drive in Manassas was a report of a wreck. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
And here is 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
A drippy start to the week with off and on some showers and drizzle, mist, clouds, and cool numbers in the upper 40s and low 50s. A very unsettled pattern, at least for the very start of the work week. Some showers will carry us into the evening. Temperatures tonight, 40s and 30s. By tomorrow morning with clearing skies, it will be cold, mid to upper 30s, maybe low 40s downtown. We'll go for a high near 50 on Tuesday with breezes. By Wednesday, mid 50s, partly to mostly sunny skies. Some more shower chances return for the end of the week. I'm 7 News senior meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
Seeing the heaviest rains right now south of D.C., though we are seeing a few lighter showers around Germantown and Rockville. But mostly around I-95 in Prince William County, heading toward the 210 corridor in Maryland. It's 47 in Germantown, 49 in Annandale, and we have 48 degrees in downtown D.C.
Still ahead, some car makers promise to hold the line on prices, but one says it's going to stop shipping cars to the U.S. More news in 60 seconds.
Who is Airbus U.S. Space and Defense? A long-time American partner, we deliver world-class satellite, rotary, and fixed-wing solutions to the U.S. government. Did you know every U.S. Army pilot trains on an Airbus helicopter? And the National Guard uses our helicopters to perform border security missions? At Sea Air Space, we'll showcase an unmanned helicopter that will change how America counters its adversaries. Who is Airbus U.S. Space and Defense? We are pioneering aerospace for a secure America.
Had enough of those skyrocketing power bills? Wyatt Everhart with Solar Energy World says now is the time to take a look at a cost-saving alternative.
Energy bills for more than $1,000? Just unprecedented in the DMV, and yet that's exactly what we are seeing. But the good news is federal and state incentives and the rapid paybacks for shifting to solar power are also still at their highest levels in history, at least before any changes get made. You can still save thousands.
Book a free analysis at solarenergyworld.com/WTOP.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Washington's top news, WTOP.
Facts matter.
5:53.
As stock markets react to President Trump's wide-ranging tariffs, automakers are reacting to his specific import taxes on them. Following the imposition of a 25% tax on vehicle imports, Jaguar Land Rover is pausing shipments to the U.S. The company says the pause comes as it develops plans to mitigate the impact of the new taxes. Meanwhile, the maker of Hyundai and Genesis vehicles says it will not increase pricing on any of those over the next 2 months. Volkswagen has said it is adding an import fee on vehicles assembled outside the U.S. and has halted rail shipments of vehicles built in Mexico to the U.S.
So what happens if Earth ever gets invaded by aliens? Well, WTOP's Luke Lukert says someone actually crunched the numbers and found out what state might survive the best.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Unless you live in the Old Dominion, a new study from the online calculator company Giga Calculator says that Virginia is the most likely to survive an alien invasion. First off, the state doesn't have quite as many UFO sightings. What really helps, though, is a high number of caves and forested areas to hide in. What also helps is a high number of military personnel, scientists, and engineers in the state that will hopefully be able to fight off these alien invaders.
That is the whole problem with aliens, is you just can't trust them. Occasionally you meet a nice one, but usually they turn out to be some kind of big lizard.
Maryland comes in at number 13. Looking for the nearest cave, Luke Lukert, WTOP News.
I don't know how well anybody's going to handle it. If aliens are smart enough to get to Earth with all the...
Yeah, I don't think a cave's going to save you.
All the laws of physics we know about
here. If that's our last line of defense, we're in trouble.
Sports at 25 and 55. Powered by Maximus. Moving people and technology forward.
What about a board with a nail in it, Dave? You think that scare
might
them off?
Oh, gosh, you never know. Yeah. Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin caught Wayne Gretzky Friday night with a pair of goals here in Washington. Sunday afternoon against the New York Islanders.
Send in Wilson on the flank. Cross ice. Ovechkin fires. Score! The chasing days are done! Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
Joe Beninati on the Monumental Sports Network. Alex Ovechkin scores his 895th career goal. That gives him one more than Wayne Gretzky, who was on hand yesterday.
He was so supportive through all my career. Wish me luck all the time. And, he's... obviously, he's the greatest player to play, and to pass him in that category, it's huge.
Check out 8 great moments in Ovechkin's career on the sports page at WTOP.com. Caps lose 4-1. They return home to face Carolina Thursday. I'll be back at 6:15 with John and John to talk a little more Ovi. NBA Wizards lose to Boston 124-90. First-round pick Alex Sarr leads the Wiz in defeat with 16 points. Baseball Nationals beat Arizona 5-4. Travis Williams strikes out 6 over 5 innings to post his first victory of the season. Women's college hoops. UConn wins the national championship, defeating South Carolina 82-59. Men's national championship game tonight. Houston facing Florida. Dave Preston, WTOP Sports.
Thank you, Dave. Up next, global markets plunging again right now over tariff concerns. We have traffic and weather in 60 seconds.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. Go to rapidradios.com and you'll get up to 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO for an additional 5% off.
When you're a professional excavator, safe digging is a matter of steps. Steps to get you home safely at the end of the day. Follow the entire safe digging process. Contact Miss Utility before every dig. Confirm response of all utilities. And only hand dig within 18 inches of the marks. Visit missutility.net or call 811. Before you dig, every dig, it's the law.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is WTOP News. WTOP FM Washington. WWWTFM Manassas. WTLP FM Braddock Heights Frederick.
Traffic and weather on the 8s. Over to Rita.
And we have the early delay on the Beltway in Maryland, outer loop from 95 and off of southbound 95 around toward University Boulevard. All the activity should be completely over on the right shoulder, but enough to keep the attention around. Southbound 29 already slow from Lockwood Drive toward University Boulevard with the lanes available to you. In the inner loop starting to fill in before 210 to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Still no problems on the Beltway in Virginia. Now, northbound 210 at Fort Washington Road. Callers report the crash in the left lane. The delay continues past it, but just something to keep in mind. 5 and 301 slow through Brandywine. Then 5 slow just towards Moores Road, toward Earnshaw and towards Surratt's. And then it looks good to the Beltway. Northbound 4 starting to slow in the usual spot approaching the light at Dower House Road. While in Virginia on northbound 95, volume out of Stafford passing 610. Then delays. Dale City into Woodbridge. Volume continues through Lorton and Newington into Springfield. 395, no reported issues. While in Manassas on northbound 28 before Maplewood Drive, that had been a report of a wreck. The WTOP Traffic Center is presented by Window Nation. Today, buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Visit windownation.com. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
Now go to 7 News. First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff for the forecast.
Average high for this time of year is mid-60s, and we're not seeing that anytime this week. In fact, temperatures today, upper 40s, low 50s at best. It is going to be much cooler than we had over the weekend, and damp to boot with some off-and-on showers, drizzle, mist, easterly winds, just a very blah, not so pretty day. Temperatures later tonight will eventually fall in the 30s. Showers will taper off late, and there will be some clearing. Cold start to your Tuesday. By afternoon, only near 50 with sunshine and a bit of a breeze, adding a bit of a chill. Mid-50s for highs on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. I'm 7 News senior meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
The heavier rain right now just south of the district through Alexandria, Prince George's, and Charles counties. We are at 49 degrees in Annandale.
You're listening to WTOP, Washington's news, traffic, and weather station.
WTOP News. Facts matter.
Good morning. I'm John Doman.
And I'm John Aaron. Coming up,
stocks tumbling across the globe this morning. Trump tariffs getting the blame.
There's a new goal-scoring champion.
Yeah, it's Alex Ovechkin who makes hockey history.
At 6:15, we go deeper on the record-breaking 895 goals with sports anchor Dave Preston.
It is now 6 o'clock.
Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Global markets are cratering and U.S. futures are down about 3% or more this morning, extending last week's brutal sell-off in response to President Trump's sweeping tariffs. The BBC's Sally Bundock.
Many investors now are pricing in this could be a long, hard battle. And the impact that will have on economies around the world, the global economy is not going to be good. And actually, some are pricing in recession. Goldman Sachs today increased the chances of a U.S. recession to 45% this year.
President Trump standing firm.
Those tariffs next year will make us $1 trillion. In addition to the $1 trillion, thousands of companies are going to relocate back into the United States.
A Maryland man is still in a Central American jail cell this morning after Trump administration officials admitted he was deported by mistake. A judge says he must be returned by midnight. Correspondent Scott McFarland.
This is really quite a showdown. The Trump administration is under orders from a federal judge in Maryland to secure the return of Kilmar Garcia from an El Salvador prison before Tuesday to bring him back to his home in Maryland. The administration has said it doesn't have the power to get him back, though they've acknowledged he was deported by mistake. The judge says it is her orders and that the deportation was unlawful.
At least 20 deaths now blamed on extreme flooding in the South and Midwest, and rising rivers are threatening more damage. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore.
It's been an unrelenting start to April across the mid-section of the country, where there have been over 500 tornado warnings issued, 47 confirmed tornadoes so far, followed by almost 700 flash flood warnings practically over the same part of the country.
New video obtained by CBS News Pittsburgh shows the moment police shot and killed a man who they say stole a police car and led them on a chase from Ohio into Pennsylvania last week. Marcus Washington was behind the wheel of his big rig when he saw the police cruiser roll down a hill and flip over.
That's unnecessary. You could use a taser. You could use your other handgun. If a guy is still coming at you to get your weapon, that is, understandable.
A Washington Capitals star, now the leading goal scorer in NHL history.
Here is Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin on TNT, scoring career goal number 895 in yesterday's loss to the Islanders, breaking Wayne Gretzky's record.
This is something crazy. I'm probably going to need a couple more days or maybe a couple weeks to realize what does it mean to be number one.
Gretzky was there to congratulate him. Dow futures down 1,100. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
It's 6:03 here, Monday, April the 7th. Cloudy, cool, and wet. Right now it's 46. We're only going up around 50. It's a dreary Monday morning, but nevertheless, good morning. I'm John Doman.
And I'm John Aaron. Our top local story is one you were just hearing about in CBS News. It was 20 years in the making. Now Capital star Alex Ovechkin stands alone in the record books. WTOP's Frank Hanrahan reports.
October 5th, 2005, the first one.
Dinas Zubris spins. Ovechkin fires. He scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board.
Fast forward to the record breaker.
Cross ice, Ovechkin fires. Score! The chasing days are done.
Joe Beninati of Monumental Sports Network on both calls. Ovechkin relieved. He has passed the great Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, finally, I'm not going to have those questions when you think you're going to break it. It's already done.
With 895 goals, could be 900 by the end of this season. Frank Hanrahan, WTOP News.
And we'll have more with our Dave Preston coming up at 6:15.
So the Grade 8's history-making goal came yesterday in New York. The Capitals game was there up on Long Island, but WTOP's Grace Newton got some fan reaction to the historic moment during a watch party that was being held at Whitlow's on the Wharf.
When asked if he brought a good luck charm to help Ovi score his 895th career goal, Chris Mabey says,
I think with Ovi, you don't need good luck because he's that good. So,
but others at the Great Chase watch party were more superstitious, like Joanne holding her 4-month-old son, Oliver.
He was born during a Caps win, so we had the game on while I was actually giving birth, so we call him our lucky charm. Every time he goes to a game or watches a game, they end up winning.
And though the Caps didn't win the game, Joanne believes Oliver still came in handy getting that record-breaking goal.
I have no words for this. We're so happy that we got to be here with our son, and I told you he was good luck.
At the Wharf, Grace Newton.
Woo! OB!
WTOP News.
11:59 tonight is the deadline for a Maryland man to be returned to the U.S. from El Salvador under a judge's ruling. But WTOP's Neil Augenstein says that order is being appealed.
Federal Judge Paula Zinnis's written opinion Sunday elaborated on her order that the Trump administration must secure the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia before midnight tonight. The Trump administration argues they can't bring him back because he's no longer in U.S. custody. The judge disagrees. She says the White House agreed to pay El Salvador $6 million to detain Abrego Garcia and other migrants for a year until the U.S. decides what should happen to them. In the judge's words, this is not about the defendant's inability to return Abrego Garcia, but their lack of desire. The Trump administration asked the U.S. Appeals Court in Richmond to pause Judge Zinnis's order by 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. That hasn't happened. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
More express lanes would be added to the Beltway in a Virginia Department of Transportation plan, but WTOP's Sandy Kozel says you can still register a comment for those proposed changes in Fairfax, Alexandria, and Prince George's County.
VDOT wants to extend the express lanes on the south side of I-495 by about 11 miles from the Springfield interchange in Fairfax County across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge to the Maryland 210 interchange in Prince George's County, Maryland. The idea is to create continuity of the express lane system on the Beltway and improve safety and traffic flow. VDOT will explain this at 2 in-person public information meetings this week in Alexandria, tonight at Thomas Edison High School, Wednesday evening at the Nanny Lee Recreation Center. Opponents see problems, saying it will clog connecting roads and may put any future Metro Rail extension on the Wilson Bridge at risk. Sandy Kozel, WTOP News.
Coming up in Money News, we are again closely watching global stocks, which are again tumbling over tariffs. Traffic and weather in 30 seconds.
In today's digital world, security threats and infrastructure issues can strike at any moment, putting your agency at risk. Splunk's advanced technology can prevent minor issues from becoming major threats, providing your agency with the tools you need to make confident decisions and make decisive actions at mission speeds. Splunk Cloud Platform is FedRAMP certified and IL5 authorized. Learn how Splunk can help your agency build a stronger, more secure digital future. Visit splunk.com/public sector.
It's 6:08.
Get a precision AC tune-up for only $59.
Michael and Son.
Traffic and weather on the 8s. Rita Kessler, sometimes it's Monday, and today it's Monday.
Today it's Wet Roads Monday, so that could be a little different. If we're on the Beltway, the outer loop of the Beltway, delays from 95 all the way around toward University Boulevard. The activity that had been a crash was over on the right shoulder. There's still activity over on the right shoulder, kind of infringing on that right lane. So stick to the left to avoid any issues, even though the travel lane should be open. Southbound 95 slows trying to get there. Southbound 29 delays are after New Hampshire Avenue, trying to head toward University Boulevard and the Beltway. You'll also find the inner loop now heavy before 210, headed to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Now on 210, northbound at Fort Washington Road, callers had reported a crash in the left lane. 5 and 301 are slow through Brandywine. 5 continues very heavy toward Moores Road, and then just the volume toward Earnshaw and Surratt's. Northbound 4, a little heavy approaching the light at Dower House Road. You'll also find inside the Beltway, 50 in the BW Parkway. 50 is heavy after 202 toward Columbia Park Road. Looks like the earlier wreck near Kenilworth has cleared. Southbound Baltimore Washington Parkway, a little heavy approaching the Good Luck Road overpass. And southbound DC 295, the delay is after Eastern Avenue toward East Capitol Street. Inbound Suitland Parkway slows near Alabama Avenue in stretches headed toward the Douglas Bridge. In Virginia, northbound 95, you do have delays through Stafford passing 610. Then from Dale City to Woodbridge. Volume through Lorton and Newington, 395 still pretty good. No problems on 66. Northbound 28 earlier before Maplewood Drive. We did have a report of a wreck. This report brought to you by Fitzgerald Auto. It's a boy, it's a girl, it's a Kia. Fitzgerald Auto Mall welcomes a new brand to the family with Kia of Annapolis. Discover transparency you can trust with your new Kia at fitzmall.com. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
And here is 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
What a difference a day makes after 60s yesterday and 80s on Saturday. We're barely going to make it into the low 50s in spots today. Some of us hanging out in the upper 40s. Some off and on light showers, some drizzle and mist and clouds. Just a cool, raw day. Into the evening, a few showers may linger, particularly south and east, eventually clearing out overnight with temperatures in the 30s. Cold start to your Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, breezy sunshine near 50. Wednesday morning, could have some frost and freeze concerns. By Wednesday afternoon, back in the mid-50s. I'm 7 News senior meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
Watching the heaviest showers move through Culpeper and Prince William counties right now, Stafford County as well. Also, pretty much southern Maryland, anywhere south of Upper Marlboro. We have 49 degrees in downtown D.C. It's brought to you by Long Fence. Save 25% on decks, pavers, and fences. 6 months, no payment, no interest. Conditions apply. Go to longfence.com.
Money news at 10 and 40. Stock futures are not looking good this morning. Dow futures are down more than 3%. S&P futures are down about 3.5%. NASDAQ futures are down close to 4%. It comes after European and Asian stocks nosedived this morning as higher U.S. tariffs and a backlash from China have triggered a massive sell-off. On Friday, the U.S. stock market had its worst day since the height of the COVID crisis. Late yesterday, President Trump reiterated his resolve on tariffs, telling reporters he didn't want the market to fall, but says sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
Chick-fil-A says it plans to lay off all 91 of its employees at its Little Blue Menu quick service restaurant in College Park next month. The Washington Business Journal says the company filed a warn notice with the state of Maryland last month. That restaurant on Route 1 is a one-of-a-kind for its company. It also offers burgers, pizza, wings, and other items in addition to the regular Chick-fil-A fare. The company says it'll remodel the restaurant and try to reopen it again sometime in the fall.
Elevate your career with Ennoble First. Join their team delivering innovative IT, cloud, cybersecurity, and defense IT solutions. Make an impact. Visit ennoblefirst.com today.
Coming up, we'll talk with our Dave Preston about Ovi's record-breaking goal yesterday. 612.
Here's Jim Smid, the principal architect for DoD and intelligence community at Palo Alto Networks on Federal News Network's DoD Modernization Exchange.
Oftentimes when we'll see an incident come through, those will come from a variety of different data sources, and oftentimes it might be over 100 different alerts. We are basically stitching those alerts together. We're giving them actionable intelligence to come out of that. So you're going to just have one action out of it. You're going to have multiple actions.
Watch the full discussion now. Go to federalnewsnetwork.com paloaltonetworks.com and search Palo Alto Networks. AI cyber attacks are rising, with data exfiltration now taking hours. Protect your organization by partnering with Palo Alto Networks. Bolster your cybersecurity defenses by integrating cutting-edge quantum computing technology and a zero-trust approach. With Palo Alto Networks, you get a holistic cyber resilience platform that's engineered to address all 7 pillars of an effective cybersecurity strategy. Defend your organization. Secure your data. Visit paloaltonetworks.com now. That's paloaltonetworks.com.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for beer and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan today for the tools and tips you need to protect that legacy. That's ready.gov/plan. A message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Thompson Creek Window Company designs, builds, and installs replacement windows without the middleman markup. You get high-quality windows at an affordable price direct from our local factory. Call now for our biggest sale of the year. Take advantage of our best prices and lowest monthly payments on all windows and doors for a limited time. Call 855-57-CREEK now.
Home sweet Thompson Creek.
The top people in government get a daily briefing.
With all that's happening every day, you might ask, where's my daily briefing?
It's here. WTOP News helps you keep things straight.
Voices you trust, delivering the facts.
WTOP News. Watch, read, listen.
It's 6:14. Good morning. I'm John Doman.
And I'm John Aaron. We continue our coverage of Alex Ovechkin's record-breaking milestone. He passed Wayne Gretzky during yesterday's game in New York against the Islanders, scoring goal 895, and the great one was there to cheer him on.
I can tell you firsthand, I know how hard it is to get to 894. 895 is pretty special. They say records are made to be broken, but I'm not sure who's going to get more goals than that.
Well, joining us now with more is WTOP sports anchor Dave Preston. There's never been, at least in a long time now, a more polarizing player in the NHL than Alexander Ovechkin. The fact that he's Russian and it's a very Canadian-based sport, he's had a lot of detractors. He's got to be feeling pretty good about kind of where he stands and sort of settle some of those debates as to how good he's been over these last 20 years.
Well, it's amazing, 895. That's, you have to stack so many good seasons back to back to back to back. And the fact that he's stayed healthy all these years, playing a very physical brand, too. I talked to Joe Beninati a couple weeks ago for one of our pieces on WTOP.com, and he compared him to a Mack truck on skates. And the fact that Ovi's physical style, a lot of people who are physical, their bodies break down. His body is not, and he's continued to be very skilled and highly skilled. You could say there's people say that hitting a baseball is the toughest thing. I feel running around on skates and shooting a puck is pretty challenging as well. Tricky. And he was able to do that. What an incredible weekend for Ovechkin. He had 2 goals Friday night. I thought he was going to get a hat trick. Actually, I was at the game against the Blackhawks. He winds up getting 2, and then he gets 1 yesterday. So what a weekend for the Caps.
Yeah. So he breaks the record at an away game, but it seemed like the away crowd was just as into it as the many Caps fans there.
Well, hey, it's the 21st century, so people can buy tickets on the secondary market. I know a lot of people who went up. It's a drive, but it's still manageable. And I think at one point this season, when they thought that, okay, this might happen, people started snatching up road tickets, the game at Carolina. And then, of course, this game, people had their eye on a few months ago. So I'm not surprised that it was a very supportive crowd of Ovi yesterday.
All right, let's play a game.
I thought we were.
Over under 925 career goals.
I think so. Well, because he's signed through next season. So let's say he finishes with maybe 1 or 2 more. So 897, 898. Let's say he gets 30 next year. So I'd say 930 maybe. I think is the number that he would get to.
Over 950 in his career?
I don't think so, because I think he stops after next season.
Okay. So this is kind of overshadowing the Caps season, but they are having a pretty great one. What's next for the team?
Well, I think this is great for them because this allows them for the final, 5 games of the season just to focus on getting back to what they have done so well until the last week or so. I think they've lost 5 of 7. So I think the OV chase, maybe, it weighs you down as a player, it weighs you down as a team. I think right now they can get back to the style of hockey that allowed them to be so awesome over the first 70 games of the season, get in the right spot mentally, get in the right spot for the playoffs, which is going to be starting up in a couple of weeks.
They have one of the best records in the NHL right now, and a lot of the hockey pundits don't seem to consider them as legitimate cup contenders either.
Let them do that then at their peril.
Just like 2018.
Yes.
Sounds good, Dave. That is WTOP sports anchor Dave Preston.
Traffic and weather on the 8s. Take it away, Rita Kessler.
Well, we have a problem right now in Maryland on 15. This is southbound 15 trying to head to Point of Rocks Road. At the intersection with Point of Rocks Road is where there was a crash. Callers report it was in that circle there. When they went through it, you were able to get through. So you may be under police direction, but you do still have a sizable backup there for that crash on 15 near Point of Rocks Road. Now, northbound 210 at Fort Washington Road, callers report that crash gone. Your lanes are open, but you're still seeing yourself in delays on 210 trying to head that way. 5 and 301 slow approaching the split in Brandywine. Once they split, 301 just slows to Brandywine Road, and then not a bad trip toward Route 4. Route 5, however, continues slow all the way toward Earnshaw and trying to make your way toward Surratt's Road. Then it looks good to the Beltway. Northbound 4, that's the normal backup right now that's headed toward the light at Dower House Road. Now on the Beltway, Interloop slow, St. Barnabas to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Outer loop delays still from 95 headed past New Hampshire. There was still some activity over on the right shoulder. No problems on the Beltway in Virginia. Southbound 29 slows from New Hampshire toward University Boulevard. Southbound Baltimore Washington Parkway heavy out of Greenbelt toward the Good Luck Road overpass. And then heading into the district. Southbound DC 295. Delays from Eastern Avenue passing East Capitol Street. Northbound I-295 heavy from the Suitland Parkway onto the 11th Street Bridge. From the other direction, northbound 395 is starting to see some delays approaching the 14th Street Bridge. Northbound 95 has the delay passing 610 from Dale City into Woodbridge, also through Lorton and Newington into Springfield. Looks like we may have a problem forming on the inner loop of the Beltway in Virginia. After 236 in Annandale, there's a report of a crash. Eastbound 66 slows passing 234 Business, and then volume into Centerville. It is northbound 28 coming out of Manassas toward Yorkshire Lane is the delay, but the crash before Maplewood Drive should be cleared. Is your retirement at risk? Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
And your forecast now from 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
Tracking clouds, showers, just wet, damp, and raw conditions for your Monday. Temperatures may not get out of the 40s in many locations, near 50 or so, low 50s in the city. It will be just a rather damp situation all the way through the afternoon. Even into the evening, some off and on light showers are possible. Temperatures eventually falling into the 30s once those skies clear out later tonight. So a cool start to your Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, plenty of sunshine, breezy and cool near 50. Low to mid 50s for highs on Wednesday, but after a very cold start, Wednesday morning, our coldest start, we could even see some frost and freeze concerns. And then heading later in the week, some more shower chances return. Temperatures closer to 60 Thursday and Friday with a chance for some scattered rain showers. I'm 7 News Senior Meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
Well, if it's not raining where you are right now, give it some time. It looks like everybody's going to get whacked at some point again later on this morning. The heaviest stuff, though, right now is south and a little bit southeast of D.C. We have 46 degrees here at WTOP. It's brought to you by Gutter Helmet by Lednor Home. Not all gutter solutions are equal. Get engineered performance, not height, plus no payments for 1 year. Call 888-5HELMET.
And coming up,
a DDOT crossing guard faces drug charges. I'm Sarah Jacobs.
More news in 60 seconds.
Meet the new Congress. This profile brought to you by the American Bankers Association.
Michigan Congressman Tom Barrett is a military veteran.
I served 22 years in the United States Army.
The Republican lawmaker later served in the state Senate before getting elected to the House. He's committed to improving services for veterans as a member of the Veterans Affairs Committee, who chairs a subcommittee on VAIT.
I used the Montgomery GI Bill to pay for my college, and I understand what veterans in Michigan and across the country need and expect from the VA.
I'm Mitchell Miller.
I'm Rob Nichols, President and CEO of the American Bankers Association. The 119th Congress has arrived with new faces from across the country. Each followed their own journey to Washington, bringing their unique experiences. America's banks and their 2 million employees welcome the new members. Working together, let's seize this opportunity to strengthen our economy and give every American the chance to succeed. To see how Congress can help, visit aba.com/blueprint for growth.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save cost and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
This is Washington's top news.
WTOP News.
Facts matter.
It's 6:23.
A DDOT crossing guard is facing drug charges. WTOP's Sarah Jacobs reports the woman is accused of trying to deal narcotics while on the job.
D.C. police say they received reliable information last Thursday about a woman working for the district's Department of Transportation as a crossing guard. The tipster identified the intersection where she was working as 3rd and Rhode Island Northeast, described her car, and said her last name was Jones. Plainclothes officers say they saw a possible transaction between the defendant, 50-year-old Tara Jones, and a man who left the scene. Officers approached the suspect, who admitted she had narcotics in her car. A vehicle search turned up zip bags with a white rock-like substance that tested positive for crack cocaine, as well as 9 opioid pills and a scale. Jones is charged with possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance. Sarah Jacobs, WTOP News.
Maryland lawmakers wrap up their legislative session tonight. They began the session in January trying to figure out how to fix a more than $3 billion budget hole, and they end it with even greater uncertainty caused by budget and job cuts at the federal level. The new state budget set to be passed tonight includes about $2 billion in spending cuts, but more than $1.5 billion in taxes and fee hikes. Senate President Bill Ferguson, a Baltimore Democrat, says they have a few items open, but for the most part, all the important issues are near or through the finish line.
Here's a look at what's trending.
The same virus that killed the wife of actor Gene Hackman is creating some panic in a small town in California. The hantavirus, which is super rare and carried by rodents, has killed 3 people in a rural part of Mono County, California, near Yosemite National Park. And public health officials say they're worried because the 3 people who died were not exposed to any mouse droppings. A congresswoman tweeted that she wants us to buy her kid a beer for his birthday. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted and then deleted the tweet pretty quickly, but the internet lasts forever. She posted, "It's my baby boy's birthday. He's 22. Buy him a beer," followed by his Venmo link. It could go against House ethics rules, which prohibits members from soliciting gifts. Comedian Jeff Ross posted on Instagram that he spent a night in the hospital over the weekend after eating ice cream at a fancy restaurant.
You look like a bouncer at a nursing home.
He said it was still delicious and the hospital staff wasn't too mean. That's what's trending. I'm Jen Clark.
Sports at 25 and 55, brought to you by Amentum, advancing the future together for the intelligence community.
Dave Preston, Ovi trending as well still.
Yeah, crown Alex Ovechkin the NHL's all-time goal scorer. Yesterday's tally against the New York Islanders gives the Capitals forward 895 for his career. That's one bit better than Wayne Gretzky.
It means I'm number 1 in the goal list, so I'm very proud. I'm very proud for my family, for my country, for Capitals organization, for all my teammates who I play with and are playing right now, obviously.
Now, the record breaker came on the power play. Coach Spencer Carberry thinks he saw it.
I didn't even know how it went in. I don't know how it got through all the different bodies and all the screen. I couldn't even see, and I saw right behind the puck, and it finds a way through and beats him short side. It's the ultimate goal scorer's goal for the greatest of all time.
Caps lose 4-1. They host Carolina Thursday. More about Ovi breaking the record on the sports page at WTOP.com. NBA Wizards lose to Boston 124-90. Justin Champagnie records a double-double in defeat with 15 points and 13 rebounds. Baseball Nationals beat Arizona 5-4. Don't sleep on Alex Call. The reserve outfielder's hitting .545 after going 2 for 3 with an RBI. Women's college basketball. UConn wins the national championship, defeating South Carolina 82-59. Dave Preston, WTOP Sports.
All right, Dave, and coming up, global markets are again tumbling this morning. It's 6:27.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
It's 6:28. Traffic and weather on the 8s. Rita Kessler, get him through this mess.
Well, I'm trying. And also, like, when one thing clears, then another thing pops up. That's what we're dealing with today, especially with the wet roadways. Things are slippery. You do need to use extra caution. And, of course, be aware of the reduced visibility because of the road spray. Now, let's start out on the Beltway in Virginia. That's our latest problem. The inner loop after Little River Turnpike, the crash was along the right side of the roadway. You still see delays right now from Braddock Road headed past the scene. Northbound 95 is slow passing 610 from Dale City into Woodbridge and between Lorton and Newington. 395 a little slow getting onto the 14th Street Bridge. Eastbound 66 is heavy passing 234 Business in Manassas. In Maryland, northbound to Route 5, Branch Avenue after Woodyard Road. Callers report the crash in the center of the roadway before Coventry Way. Southbound 15 near Point of Rocks Road was a crash with a pretty big backup as well, so you may be under police direction. Back on the Beltway, but in Maryland, the outer loop after New Hampshire, everything that was from the earlier wreck was over on the right shoulder. There may still be something left to look at, but nothing in the roadway. The delay goes from 95, but now all the way past 29 toward Georgia Avenue. Southbound 29 has the delay from New Hampshire Avenue toward University Boulevard. And the Beltway and the inner loop is slow after Branch Avenue headed toward 295 and the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Northbound 5 was seeing some delays with 301 headed through Brandywine and also headed toward Moores Road. But now we're seeing a delay coming from Surratt's Road, trying to get past 223 Piscataway Road, where we may have a wreck. So this is after that and before Kirby Road on northbound Branch Avenue, where that crash was. Also, you're going to find in the district, southbound DC 295 had the delay coming from Eastern Avenue headed toward East Capitol Street, and then it looks good headed toward Pennsylvania Avenue and the 11th Street Bridge. Is your retirement at risk? Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Rita Kessler, WTOP Traffic.
And here's 7 News First Alert meteorologist Brian Vandegraff.
Unfortunately, we are starting off the week with some wet weather, but we're rather dry, so this is a positive. Temperatures in the low 50s at best today. In fact, we're probably milder this morning in many locations than we'll be all day. Many of us hanging out in the 40s throughout the day with some off and on showers, drizzle, mist, just kind of a drippy gray day. Later tonight, those showers will taper off from the west to east, and eventually skies will clear out. 30s overnight. Heading into the day tomorrow, breezy sunshine near 50. Low to mid-50s for the time we get to Wednesday with lots of sunshine. I'm 7 News senior meteorologist Brian Vandegraff in the First Alert Weather Center.
The stronger showers we've seen all morning are approaching the Beltway now. They're on the southern and southwestern side of the Beltway, headed across the city and into Prince George's County right now, going across Charles County too. We have 46 degrees here at WTOP. It's a wet one out there today.
You're listening to WTOP, Washington's news, traffic, and weather station.
The WTOP Producers Desk is wired by IBEW Local 26, where electrical contractors come to grow.
Good morning, I'm John Aaron.
I'm John Doman. Teddy Gelman is our producer.
The top story we're following for you, stock futures have again gotten pummeled as the White House remains defiant after President Trump's rollout of new tariff rates on most key U.S. trading partners. That sparked a historic multi-day market meltdown last week. Now, it does look like stocks are set to pick up where they left off in the red, though things are a little better than they were earlier. Dow futures are now down about 2.5%, S&P futures down just over 2%, and NASDAQ futures down about 2.5% as well.
And it comes as the Trump administration is continuing to defend those aggressive new tariffs.
With global stock markets in turmoil, President Trump spoke about his plan to impose reciprocal tariffs on dozens of U.S. trading partners this week.
We will be taking in over $1 trillion over the next short period of time with the tariffs that I've already instituted. They're already in place. Now, what's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger.
The sweeping tariffs on goods from countries around the world set off the worst two-day Wall Street sell-off in 5 years. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
The Democratic co-sponsor of new Senate legislation involving tariffs says there's growing support from Republicans to back the bill. And the new GOP measure on tariffs is in the works in the House as well. WTOP's Mitchell Miller has more today on the Hill.
Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington State is a co-sponsor of a bill to reassert congressional authority over tariffs. Iowa Republican Chuck Grassley is her co-sponsor, and Cantwell says at least 7 GOP senators are backing the legislation. It would require congressional approval of tariffs that remain in place for 60 days.
Usually you don't get a first introduction and get so many people on board, but I think it shows the anxiety that people have.
Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who like Cantwell spoke on CBS's Face the Nation, says the legislation will get a thorough hearing.
There'll be a discussion in the Senate. We'll see which way the discussion goes.
In the House, a similar bill is expected to be introduced today by a GOP lawmaker. On Capitol Hill, Mitchell Miller, WTOP News.
And the other big story around here this morning.
We did it, boys. We did it. It's a history.
That's Alex Ovechkin, who officially made NHL history yesterday, scoring his 895th career goal. Yeah, the Capitals lost to the New York Islanders yesterday. I don't think anybody really cared, though. It's all about Ovi breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. Associated Press hockey writer Stephen Wino described the moment to WTOP.
It was that kind of moment where Alex Ovechkin was at the center of the sports world. An entire arena of 17,000 people went completely crazy. Even a lot of the Islanders fans involved, a ton of Capitals fans, and really sort of the prototypical moment for Alex Ovechkin to break this kind of record.
Ovechkin belly flopped onto the ice after he scored that historic goal. The game was stopped for a 10-minute ceremony so that everybody could celebrate.
Of course, there were plenty of watch parties back here. WTOP's Grace Newton was at one of them at the Wharf.
What a time to be alive, right? And to witness it, whether from near or far, directly, indirectly.
Bone, who's here with a group of friends, says he doesn't mind they couldn't see the 895th goal scored in person.
You know, we're just as happy to see it, especially surrounded by all the love for the Capitals.
Sierra stressed how much she feels Ovechkin deserves his new honor.
This has been like 30 years in the making. And so many people had to give up so much for him to get to this point, himself included.
And Jesse shares the sentiment.
There's no other team in this entire league that can compete at all to the type of friendship that these guys have. Like, Ovechkin is the end-all, be-all.
At the Wharf, Grace Newton, WTOP News.
All right, now coming up after traffic and weather in Money News.
The D.C. area is still attracting renters, #1 for 5 straight months now. I'm Jeff Clayball.
It's 6:36.
Here is Paul Kurtz, the Chief Cybersecurity Advisor and Field CTO at Splunk on Federal News Network's DoD Modernization Exchange.
We take a lot of things for granted when we think about what is the operational environment for the military and how do those devices hold up? How do we know that they're secure? How do we know that they're not leaking data? Those are really, really important points, and mobility is only going to grow.
Watch the full discussion now. Go to federalnewsnetwork.com and search Splunk.
In today's digital world, security threats and infrastructure issues can strike at any moment, putting your agency at risk. Splunk's advanced technology can prevent minor issues from becoming major threats, providing your agency with the tools you need to make confident decisions and make decisive actions at mission speeds. Splunk Cloud Platform is FedRAMP certified and IL5 authorized. Learn how Splunk can help your agency build a stronger, more secure digital future. Visit splunk.com/public sector.
The Virginia Lottery has mega news!
Whoa. Mega Millions just got more millions! Now with a chance to multiply your non-jackpot prize up to 10 times and a higher jackpot starting at $50 million, all for just $5. So go grab a ticket before this news gets any bigger! Oh, too late. To learn more, visit VALottery.com/mega. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. 888-532-3500.
Fantastic flip. This is Dave Johnson. Yeah, my friend Jennifer Young of Jennifer Young Homes can handle it. Listen to this story. A distressed property purchased by some investors. They wanted a quick sale. That saved a Jennifer Young Homes client from foreclosure. This house was under contract in only 3 days and closed at $10,000 above the list price. Jennifer guarantees to sell your home at price and deadline you agreed to, or she'll buy it. Now's the time to connect with Jennifer Young. 877-611-SELL or JenniferYoungHomes.com.
Keller Williams Realty, 703-815-5700.
638. Traffic and weather on the 8s. Too much going on, Rita Kessler.
We're definitely seeing delays, too, with the wet roadways that we're having. So it's a pretty tough trip out there this morning. Let's start out with our Beltway delays. Inner loop delays from St. Barnabas Road toward the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Outer loop delays, 95, headed around past University Boulevard toward Georgia Avenue. And then in Virginia, inner loop slows from Braddock Road, headed past 236, where that earlier wreck had been along the right side. Southbound 270, that delay, slowest point, is out of Urbana, headed to 109. Volume continues to 121, then again before Father Hurley Boulevard to Montgomery Village Avenue.